Some people think that examples need to be like full sentences, like one sentence or two sentences, and so on. That isn't the case. And many times students, I say to them, why don't you write the examples? And they're like, oh, I don't have time to write all of these examples. Now, examples don't have to be sentences. They can just be a phrase, like such as. For example, for instance, and then you give like, one or two words. So it's very clear that we give like a real life example of things that we are talking about throughout the essay. It doesn't have to be sentences. So this can save you on the word count if you're writing too much. And maybe you don't have time to fully give a developed answer. So writing phrases might be able to help you to put down the word count and save you a little bit of time. So examples can be full sentences or they can be just phrases. Okay, so here we have examples. Eating fruit is good for your health. So let's say this is the main idea. And this is the supporting idea, the reason. This is because they contain vital vitamins and minerals that the body needs to function. For example, oranges contain vitamin C. So here is, they contain vital vitamins. So oranges contain vitamin C, which is necessary for the growth of hair and skin. And here, that the body needs, and so on. Yeah, so here we have something that's necessary. So vitamin C, for example, is necessary for growth. Yeah, so that's a function, growth there. Okay, so this is an example of a full sentence. And then we have phrases. So we're going to take a look at this. Same one. So we have eating fruit. And here we have an example, such as oranges and apples is good for your health. So always gerund phrases, ing phrases, are followed with the verb to be is in the singular form. Eating fruit is. A lot of students, they write oranges, apples, and then they write are. We're following the gerund here. This is the subject of the verb is. So eating fruit such as oranges and apples is good for your health. This is because they contain vitamins and minerals. And then I have, for example, vitamin C and potassium that the body needs. Okay. So here I've done it two ways. I've done it by writing an example, writing a full example, a full sentence, and I've done it by adding a phrase. For example, vitamin C and potassium, such as oranges and apples. So there are, there are more than one way. There's more than one way to write an example. Now, what I want to do is I want to do some exercises with you, and I want you to be able to add phrases into these sentences. So let's add examples in the form of phrases to these sentences. So here I have eating junk food is bad for health. This type of food lacks the essential nutrients needed. So how could we insert maybe some examples to these sentences? So what could we give examples of? So I think maybe we could give an example here of junk food. And then we have essential nutrients. Number 2, the government should make use of media to raise awareness. So maybe media. Could give an example of media. The latest technology has made communication easier. So here we have the latest technology. Environmental problems have made work in cities difficult. Is this something we could give an example of in number 4?
I didn't understand the question. What is the question is? Like environmental problems have made?
Yeah, we're trying to find things that we can give examples of, and then we want to embed these examples within the sentences. So for number 4, what is something we could give an example? We could embed an example for.
We can easily put examples, maybe sound pollution, for example.
Okay, so here we could say environmental problems. So this is what we could give an example of. Okay, so let's take a look at sentence number 1. Eating junk food is bad for health. This type of food lacks the essential nutrients. So what could we put here? So here we could put such as junk food, such as
burgers.
Okay, such as burgers is bad for your health. This type of food lacks the essential nutrients. The essential nutrients, like what? For example, what?
Vitamin C.
Vitamins and minerals needed. Okay, so eating junk food such as burgers is bad for health. This type of food lacks the essential nutrients, for example, vitamins and minerals. Okay, for example, let's say the vitamins. The vitamins and minerals needed. Okay, so here we have some examples. Okay, it's not as difficult as maybe some students like to think. So let's no. Let's highlight. Let's highlight. So we could use that. Okay. Here an example. Okay. So let's move on to number 2. The government should make use of media to raise awareness. So we said media. Can you give me an example of media?
Yeah, media such as print media, television media.
Such as, sorry?
Print media.
Print media. I don't know.
Television.
The phrase print media. Okay, let's just
television.
choose television for now. Television to raise awareness. Okay, so this is an example. So we have that. Okay, so sentences sometimes there could be like supporting sentences, and also there could be examples. There could be like 2 in 1. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you don't have to be separate. Okay, so this is a good way of embedding examples within the supporting sentences. Sometimes it makes it easier for us. It makes it quicker for us to write as well. Okay, number 3. The latest technology has made communication easier.
Such as mobile communication.
Okay, has made communication easier. Okay. Environmental problems.
Such as noise pollution.
For instance, pollution. Or do I need a comma after that? Okay. Due to the lack of exercise, health problems have increased. So what is something that you could give an example of here easily?
Health problems, diabetics, cardiac disease.
Right. Okay.
Just
Here we have the word.
Like health problems, for example, cardiac disease has or have?
Its health problems have increased.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Students have to study extremely complicated subjects in order to pass exams. So what are things that we could give examples of in sentence number 6?
Difficult science subjects or mathematics, complicated mathematics.
So let's just highlight this with the yellow. So this is something we could give an example of, all right? Also, maybe exams, we could give an example of the type of exams that you want to pass as well, yeah? Number 7, German cars require more resources than Japanese ones. So what are things that we could give examples of in number 7?
Resources.
Resources is one. German cars. Maybe we could give an example of Japanese cars. Yeah? Okay. Inventions in the 20th century have made travel easier. So,
Inventions.
Inventions. Okay. So now we have 6, 7, and 8. Let's take a look at number 6. Students have to study extremely complicated subjects. So what could we put in as an example here? Such as
Mathematics.
Mathematics. Okay. Mathematics in order to pass exams. What maybe we could give an example of a type of exam that we would do. For instance,
Passing an engineering degrees.
Sorry?
Engineering degrees.
Okay. Engineering degrees. Okay. So let's so let's highlight these examples here. So we have these ones here. Okay. Germans require more resources than Japanese. Okay, so let's give some examples here. Such as
I'm not sure with this one.
Okay, it's BMWs. We have it's an a German car. We have Mercedes-Benz and
Audi.
Volkswagen, of course. Not sure about Audi. I'm not sure Audi if it's German or not. No, so it's Volkswagen, definitely BMW and Mercedes. Okay, such as BMW require more resources. For example, petrol than Japanese ones. I'm going to say like. Like is a little bit informal, but you know, it's not that bad. You know, I would prefer that maybe you use like. It's probably better than saying such as, you know, so many times, or for example, so many times, and so on. So I'd rather you put a linker like rather than, you know, keep on repeating the same ones. So Japanese ones like Toyota, maybe. Okay. Inventions in the 20th century made travel easier. So inventions.
Bullet train.
Such as?
Bullet train.
Bullet train, okay. Let's say the bullet train, such as the bullet train. Okay. Uh-huh. 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 Okay. Right. So here we have examples here, a lot of examples here. And it's not as difficult as people, you know, like to think. A lot of students say, I can't think of an example. I don't know of an example. You know, it's very easy, you know. So you look for a noun and then you give an example of it. So, you know, here we have latest technology. So what is an example of latest technology? What's the example of media? What's the example of a health problem? What's the example of a complicated subject? What's the example of a German car? What's the example of resources? You know, so it isn't that difficult. I don't know why people just can't think of an example of things that they're writing and, you know, in their supporting sentences. I think it's really simple to do. And this also is an easy and it's an efficient way of writing examples. So you don't have to go over 350 words. You could possibly write 300 words and cover all the requirements of the task. So I think it is, you know, possible to get like a band 7 with 300 words, something like that, to be in that range. I think it's possible. Now, here we could do full sentences. So after we've finished, we could say, for example, eating junk food. What do we say?
Burgers.
For example, what lacks essential nutrients, do you think? What kind of junk food lacks essential nutrients? Do you think of anything?
Not sure, like the burgers and
Okay.
processed foods. Okay, canned foods.
Yeah. So we could say now. Okay. So we could say, for example, processed foods. And this is, what is this referring to? It's referring to eating junk food here. Okay, so for example, processed foods. And now what do we want to say? we want to say that this food, it lacks essential nutrients. Okay, so for example, processed food. Like burgers, are not rich in, and now we need essential nutrients, so we could say vitamins maybe. I don't think there are many vitamins in processed food. We do have quite a lot of minerals. We could say maybe essential fatty acids. Okay. So probably a lot of saturated fat and so on, but we don't have maybe the essential fatty acids. If you're not 100% sure of something, if it's a fact or not, don't worry about it too much. I don't think the examiner is going to be too focused on if something is factual or it isn't. All right. Just do something that if something is obviously false, then avoid it. Don't do something that's just clearly 100% false. The government should make use of media to raise awareness. So, what did we say? We could give an example of the media that the government should take advantage of. For example, use for example, most people use social media networks such as Facebook. Then we could say the problems. Okay, so here we have an example, which is social media. Let's do that. Yeah. Okay, the latest technology has made communication easier. So what is an example? We said the latest technology. What is something, the latest technology that has made things easier? So we said mobiles, yeah? So for instance, mobile technology has for instance, mobile technology has helped to bridge the gap between people and has paved the way for instant, maybe communication or contact between people, even from different sides of the globe. Okay. So what is important is we look at our supporting sentences and we find something in the supporting sentence that we can give an example of. So here we said environmental problems have made work in cities difficult. And we could say something that is air pollution, yeah? So, for example, air pollution. Respiratory allergies, maybe. So, for example, air pollution has made it difficult for those with respiratory allergies to carry out physical tasks. Okay. Due to lack of exercise, health problems have increased. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to let you do this one. Okay, Ziad, you can do this one.
For instance, sedentary lifestyle.
So we're doing number 5, yeah?
Yep.
For instance,
sedentary lifestyle.
I couldn't hear that. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to spell that illness. Can you send it as a message? I can't.
Yeah, I'm sending the message.
Type it, then I'll be able to copy it and paste it. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that. Oh, okay. Sedentary lifestyle. I thought it was an illness that you were trying to say, and I couldn't hear it properly. Yeah, a sedentary lifestyle has. Okay, let's take a look at something else. Students have to study extremely complicated subjects. So here, let's write an example. For example, engineers have to study mathematics okay. For instance, mathematics as a subject, which is a prerequisite for engineering. Yeah, I wanted to write a full example because we did partial, kind of phrases and so on. I wanted now to write full examples, so full sentences, and for a full sentence we need a subject and a verb. So we're gonna have to say, we're gonna have to start off with a subject. So let's just see what you wrote in the chat. I think you had an idea there, which is a prerequisite for engineering. Okay. Let me just put okay, so we could say, for instance, sedentary lifestyle has led to obesity. Oh, sorry. So, for example, engineers have to study mathematics in order to pass the prerequisite examinations for their degrees. German cars, so we said BMWs, for example. BMWs. Let's say Toyotas. Toyotas are more economical than BMWs. Okay, so here we have, for example, Toyotas are more economical than BMWs. Which use double Okay, so here we've given an example of a German car, we've given an example of a Japanese car, and also we've given an example of resources. Okay, so now all we have is inventions. The last one, inventions in the 20th century have made travel easier. Okay, can you write this one, Ziad? Write it, put it in the chat, and I'll paste it if I can. I tried last time. Okay. For example, bullet trains, which are faster than other normal cars. Okay. Okay. So, okay, good example. So, for example, bullet trains, which are faster than other normal cars. I think cars and trains are both in the 20th century, so I don't think it's a transport. Okay. For example, let's say faster than horses, I think. I think that's all horses, so faster, which are faster than horses, made transport more convenient. Okay. More convenient is, let's say, okay. Right, now what we want to do is we want to start to highlight our examples here, so we'll just take them now. Okay, so Ziad, how do you feel about writing examples now? I think you got quite a bit of practice today. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel confident?
Yeah, this is absolutely beautiful, but I have to practice a lot to make it a habit. But this sounds really good.
Yeah.